I've never told this story outside my family. Not because I didn't want to, but because every time I tried, people looked at me like I'd finally snapped. What happened that night didn't unfold over weeks or months. It happened in minutes. Fast, quiet, surgical. And once it started, there was no stopping it. I had an early flight the next morning. One of those brutal 6 a.m. deals where you barely sleep anyway. So when I finally knocked out, I was gone, dead to the world. The kind of sleep where your brain just shuts the lights off. That didn't last long. I heard footsteps. Small, fast, bare feet slapping softly against hardwood. Then, the whisper, "Daddy." I groaned, rolling slightly toward the edge of the bed. "Not tonight, buddy." This wasn't new. My son Eli, 8 years old, smart, sensitive, anxious, always seemed to sense when I had a business trip. It was like he had a radar for it. Every single time, without fail, he'd suddenly feel sick, scared, or lonely. My wife, Lauren, slept beside me, facing the wall. She had a long shift at the clinic in the morning, and I didn't want to wake her. "Daddy, I don't feel good." Eli stood near my side of the bed, just like always. Same spot, same routine. I sighed and slipped into parent mode. "All right, champ, what hurts? Head? Stomach? You feel hot?" No answer. I cracked one eye open and checked the clock on my nightstand. 3:42 a.m. "Eli," I whispered, "you gotta answer me, buddy." Still nothing. I pushed myself up on one elbow. The room was dark, no moonlight, curtains closed, but I could still see him. Something was off. His outline looked wrong. Not blurry, not shadowy, just darker than the darkness around him, like someone had cut his shape out of the room. Same height as Eli, same build, same Spider-Man pajamas I'd helped him change into before bed. But his arms looked too thin, too long, like sticks stretched the wrong way. "Come on," I muttered, forcing calm into my voice. "Let's get you back to bed." I reached out. That's when I saw his face, or what should have been his face. His eyes were hollow, not closed, not blinking, just empty sockets that somehow still reflected light, like deep holes staring through me instead of at me. My stomach dropped. Every instinct in my body screamed wrong. I tried to wake Lauren. She was sleeping near the edge of the bed, just out of reach. I stretched, straining my arm. "Lauren," I whispered urgently. "Lauren, wake up!" Nothing. The thing standing beside the bed tilted its head slowly, like it was curious. "Lauren!" I hissed louder. "There's someone in the room!" The thing smiled. Its mouth opened too wide, way too wide, and it made this sound, a wet clicking noise followed by a soft whimper. My son's whimper. I froze. My brain tried to save me. "You're dreaming. Stress, lack of sleep, anxiety." But I could see the clock. I could feel the sheets under my hands. I was awake. The thing began swaying side to side, its long feet scraping softly across the floor. Then, "Hey, what the hell is going on?" Lauren bolted upright, flicking on the bedside lamp. Light flooded the room. The thing was gone. Eli stood there instead, real, solid, rubbing his eyes, clearly half asleep. "Dad?" he mumbled. "Why are you yelling?" I sucked in a sharp breath, my heart slamming against my ribs. Lauren shot me an irritated look. Tom, are you serious right now? It's the middle of the night. I thought... I swallowed hard. I thought someone was in here. Eli giggled. You scared me. Lauren sighed. Babe, you've been under a ton of stress lately. You barely sleep. You probably had one of those half-dream things. No, I said quickly. I was awake. I sat up. Tom, she cut in gently, you've been working non-stop since the surgery. Hallucinations can happen, especially when you're exhausted. I didn't argue, not out loud, because how do you explain something that sounds insane even to your own ears? Lauren kissed Eli's forehead. Go back to bed, sweetie. He nodded and shuffled out of the room. As the door closed, Lauren turned to me. You're not going on that trip tomorrow. It's important, I said weakly. No, she replied firmly. Your health comes first. You scared Eli. He's already been worried about you. I nodded, even though my hands were still shaking. The next day, Lauren took Eli to his mom's place so I could rest properly. The house felt wrong without him. Too quiet. That night, I lay in bed alone, staring at the ceiling, replaying every second. Around 3:40 a.m., I heard it again. Footsteps. Daddy! My blood turned to ice. Eli wasn't home. I sat up slowly. The thing stood at the foot of the bed this time, smiling. Daddy, my tummy hurts. I screamed. I thought the nightmare was over when the lights came on that first night. I was wrong. I didn't sleep after that scream. Not really. I sat on the edge of the bed until sunrise, lights blazing, TV on mute, phone clenched in my hand like a weapon. Every creak of the house made my pulse spike. Every shadow looked like it was leaning toward me. By morning, I was wrecked. Lauren came home around 10, carrying coffee in that tired half-smile she used when she was worried but didn't want to say it out loud. You look like hell, she said softly. I didn't sleep, I replied. It came back. She froze. Tom, don't start. I'm serious, I said, standing up. Eli isn't here, you know that, and something came into our room pretending to be him. Lauren set the coffee down slowly. You're scaring me. Good, I snapped, then immediately regretted it. I ran a hand through my hair. I'm scared too. She sighed, rubbing her temples. Maybe we should call Dr. Myers again. Adjust your meds. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. Her mom. Lauren answered, listening quietly, her face drained of color. What? She whispered. No, he was fine last night. She hung up and looked at me. Eli got sick, threw up all night. Mom says he keeps asking for you. My chest tightened. I'll go get him, I said immediately. No, I will. I grabbed my keys. I'm his dad. She hesitated, then nodded. The drive felt longer than it ever had. My thoughts kept looping back to that thing's voice, how perfectly it mimicked my son, how it smiled like it already knew something I didn't. When we arrived, Eli was sitting on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, pale, quiet. Hey, buddy, I said, kneeling in front of him. He looked at me, and something in my gut twisted. It was him. Same freckles, same crooked front tooth, same brown eyes. But the way he looked at me, it was like he was studying me. "You okay?" I asked. He nodded slowly. "Can we go home now, Dad?" Lauren's mom frowned. "He's been acting strange." "Kids get sick," Lauren said quickly. "Let's just take him home." Eli reached for my hand. His grip was ice cold. That night, Eli slept in his room. Lauren passed out early, exhausted. I stayed awake again, sitting in the hallway, listening. Around 3:44 a.m., Eli's door creaked open. "Dad?" I whispered. I stood up immediately. "Yeah, I'm here." He stepped into the light. Something was wrong. His movements were stiff, too deliberate, like each step was being calculated. "You feeling better?" I asked. He nodded. "I had a bad dream." "What about?" He smiled. "You." "That's not funny, buddy." I wasn't joking. Behind him, in the dark of his room, I saw something move. A shape, tall, thin, watching. "Eli," I said carefully, "go back to bed." His smile widened just a little too much. "Why?" Because suddenly I knew. The thing hadn't been pretending to be my son. It had been learning him. "Go to bed," I repeated firmer. He tilted his head, the exact same way the thing had. "I don't think I want to," he said. The lights flickered. Lauren stirred in our bedroom. I took a step forward, and Eli stepped back into the darkness. "No," I said sharply. "Stay where I can see you." Something behind him whispered, not in my son's voice. Something older. Eli turned and walked back into his room, shutting the door. I didn't follow. I stood there, frozen, until morning. At sunrise, Eli was gone. His bed was empty, window open. Police searched for days, dogs, drones, nothing. Lauren blamed me. The cops suspected me, and I started to wonder if they were right. Because sometimes, late at night, I hear footsteps. And sometimes my bedroom door opens. And sometimes my son stands there, smiling. But I don't answer him anymore. Because whatever came back that night, it wasn't my son. They never found Eli. But if you ever hear a child call you by a name only your family knows, from the dark, don't answer. Because some things don't want to replace your child. They want to be welcomed inside. And once you let them in, they don't leave.